This is our 9th weekly meeting. Got some new things to talk about this week. Certainly, the biggest one was the closure of Plum Street yesterday. That went on as scheduled, and just wanted to start out thanking everyone for their patience and understanding it. Always takes a real long time to get everything in position there. From the start of the relocation of the first barrier to the last sign. So it did take pretty much a full day effort. We're still working through a few things, mostly with the grain trucks hauling, but I think our plan is working pretty well. I think the signing's working pretty well, and so it's just a change. It's a big change at a closure of Plum. So that happened yesterday, and thanks to those working through us, we're on schedule for the 2 weeks. That's what we're anticipating here as the hopeful case. So we're tracking the 23rd of May to get Plum back open. It could be a little sooner if the weather works with us. But so as of right now, that's what we're anticipating, that 2-week window. I guess maybe with that, I'll turn it over to Ryan with Meyer and kind of give us our schedule update, and then there'll be a few final things I can kind of close up with. So if you don't mind, Ryan.
You bet. All right, so of course, Ed, we're got the intersection closed, so now we're working the sanitary across. We're bringing that over towards Bush Street and get that hopefully done before the end of the week. Friday, we've got a date planned to tackle the water connection in the Plum intersection, which I'm sure Corey will talk about more later. Coming up after that, the storm through that Plum intersection next week, which will allow us to prep it for pavement. And then once it's prepped for pavement, we'll be able to open that intersection back up and close down Bush and Potter again. Once that's in place, going to turn it into a concrete paving job. We've got they're talking about coming and doing the curb maybe next week, with the paving following shortly behind. And in week 3 of the 3-week look at schedule would be a lot of concrete going down. And only aside from that, we've got some electricians working out there putting in the traffic signals and the lights.
All right. So yeah, thank you, Ryan.
So, yeah, to expand on that, Ryan, you with the concrete paving, when we actually see the road going back in place, Plum will be back open then. Kind of the idea is to do the paving when we've got Bush and Potter closed, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So yeah, the idea is to get in here in Plum and get that back open again. So.
Yep. And so that, just to elaborate then a little bit, likewise with Bush Street, we have to make a connection from the new main out in 61 to the south side of Plum. We're a little bit more manageable here from the businesses standpoint that need water than what Bush was. So right now we're projecting to do the shutdown early Friday morning. I've already been working with Red Wing, our Red Wing Shoe with Mark here, and Friday's a real nice day for them. A lot of folks work remotely, and we've only identified, I believe, one restaurant that's going to need water during the business day, and that's Marie's. And so we're going to visit with them afterwards, but they don't open till 11, so we think it's a real nice window here to get in early. We'll focus on the south side first, the stretch between Main Street and 3rd. That should be on within time for Marie's to go about business as normal, and then all those users on Plum Street. But then we've have it worked out with Red Wing Shoe that their connection would probably take the majority of the day. And so it's a shorter day on Friday for those folks, and then with people working from home if they're able, they're willing to work with us on that. So we're going to follow through the notice. We had our meeting here this morning and kind of worked through the logistics of that. We'll go through the process that we've always done, but that's what we're projecting here for Plum Street. And weather permitting, I think we're going to target Friday, just so we can communicate that and stay true to that. So, and then other than that, just to kind of reiterate just what to observe as things continue to progress. As Ryan said, we might see some curbs starting to come in. And then that might happen here potentially next week with Plum closed, but that would just be the main line curb. And then as Jay said, once the main line paving starts to really take shape, Plum Street will be open. And so we have probably, a week to 2 weeks of real main line paving work, including Bush and Potter, while those are closed. And so as we're projecting to the holidays, and that got brought up last week with Memorial Day, we're still a little too far out to give you a real precise window, but can expect Plum to be open for Memorial Day very likely, as well as you can expect us to be probably concrete paving. So, but we'll just continue to update every week as we go. But that's what it looks like right now, looking out that 3 weeks or whatever. So, I think with that,
Yeah, just to
Yep, go
elaborate
ahead,
on
Jay.
that water main shutdown, it's planned for 8 a.m. on Friday, and, there's a couple things that could change that, weather, as Corey mentioned, but also their sanitary sewer has to get through that intersection, and I guess Jared, there's a lot of rock right now, rock excavation to get that sanitary sewer in, so they're thinking we can get through there, but we can't start the water main until the sanitary is in. So we've got those things that we're working up against. But the plan is to be working on water main at 8 a.m. Friday morning in the Plum Street intersection with the planned shutdown. So, and we will be making the communications, like Corey said, to the businesses and make sure everyone knows what we're doing. We're trying to get them back on service as soon as possible. Get our valve placed and back turned on again there, past Farron's, Marie's. There's the Mexican store there, and the Treasure Trove, and those businesses that are served off of that stretch of water main. So,
And I would say, Jay, we shouldn't have anybody else impacted if something does go wrong. That the valve that we need to control the water with is pretty old too. It appears to be working fine, but we won't know until we actually physically shut it off to test it. So, as of right now, we don't anticipate anybody else being out of water.
yeah, and that's the valve at Third and
Plum.
Third and
If
Plum.
something went wrong, we'd have to maybe go back into that Third and Plum intersection a little more. It might affect a couple more people, but hopefully we don't have to.
Okay.
And you said to start working on the water line on Friday at 8 a.m. That'll be when we're actually in on the water line. We'll definitely start out there before that, probably earliest
They have it, yeah.
6 a.m. We'll start digging, so be aware that that's going to start a little bit earlier that day.
But the shutdown will occur at 8, but the actual digging and getting prepped so you can keep it as short as possible will be at 6 probably.
Right.
Yep.
so. Yeah, and communication is a huge part of this project, and one of the efforts that we try to make is to always be out front and communicate that, and just want to reiterate with the water shutdown, we'll give those affected folks a 24-hour minimum notice that'll indicate date and time. So this is just general conversation, just so people understand kind of what's going. It's a preview of what will come, but come late on Wednesday, we'll really sit down, look at the weather, and look at the progress, and advise people accordingly. So this isn't an official notice by any means. It's just to look ahead and just try to be as courteous and upfront as we can. But we'll do consistently like we've always done, and get written notices to those folks that we fully intend to have water impacts, and so they know exactly what to expect. Hopefully, so. But beyond that, really the big item was just Plum Street this week, and I think it's working about as good as we can hope. So, if those watching it, there's concerns and stuff, please express them, and we'll modify as we're able. But just request a little extra patience and courtesy as we're certainly routing different movements and what it's been accustomed to, and so. Especially with the trucks, it's just not ideal turning movements for them all the time, but just give them a little extra right away and a little extra room, and hopefully we can get through this. So,
Yeah, in expanding on that Plum Street closure a little bit, it's functioning like Bush Street did. When that was closed, it's kind of a dead end right there. People can still get down to those businesses, and also the pedestrian-wise, our new crossing now is at our Bush Street, so we were kind of getting that set up yesterday. I know it takes time to get everything to come together, but we were helping people get across at Bush. That's the crossing point for pedestrians to the north side. So the north and south. No pedestrian crossing at Plum across Main Street. So I know that's, we've talked to the SHU. Their employees are now using their lot over by Plant One. We encourage them to walk over to cross at Bush Street where they got a actual safe crossing at a crosswalk. So anything else to add, Corey, on signage or?
No, I don't think so, Jay. No, I think we, unless we hear complaints, I think
Yeah.
this is the best we could come up with, so.
We've got a few. We've been getting some
Yeah,
emails and we've been
yeah.
responding. Red Wing Grain and working with ADM and so forth, but
Do you want to talk a little bit about levy or?
yeah, I was
See if
gonna.
they have some
Yes.
questions in the audience first.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
Sure. Any questions at all for those? Yeah, go ahead, Marcy.
Yeah.
You did that really nice sign that said for Bush Street businesses, take West Avenue to Third Street or something like
Yep.
that. Is it possible to do one of those for Plum Street businesses, take Bush Street to Third, or is there not enough time?
No, and
I think we kind of had that planned.
We
didn't
did.
Here's what we were going to do. We made that sign thinking now that Bush Street's open, we'll just put a plaque over the bush and put Plum so people can use the same route instead of, to go ahead and use East Avenue and go across on Third to get to the Plum Street businesses because they can't turn right off of the highway right onto Plum. So we were thinking we just dual use that sign.
Sounds perfect.
All right.
we'll get on that. It was just an oversight. That's exactly what we wanted to do though there, so thank you for reminding us. Any other questions at all or thoughts or? And I guess seeing none, we're gonna, did you have anything, Patty? No.
Will you just add it to your list when you send out the release? about
Sure.
the Shutdown.
Sure, yep. So, and I think we were gonna piggyback just on having everyone here and with it being televised. I think Ron wanted to, or someone wanted to just give a quick update on Levy Road. And so I think we'll do that right now then.
Yeah, at our council meeting last night, one of the council members said that they've been getting some people that are confused about the parking lot for the yacht club or right along the small boat harbor where Vogel Harbor is, whether they can park there or not, or where they can park because of that project being worked on down there. And as of right now, there is the ability to park in that lot, but my recommendation would be to park over on Bay Point and walk to the docks down to the boathouses, basically because there's a lot of activities going on down there, and from day to day they could be working on different things. Like right now they're working on a retaining wall that's between the road and the parking lot. They're also working on the cap of the wall, the harbor wall. They're doing the painting on that, and that's if people park too close and they're out all day in their boat, they might be in the way and we can't get the car moved. So we're hoping that people will just be able to park in Bay Point and then walk over. If there's handicap needs, they can always ask the construction foreman on site where they could park closer to a dock. There will always be the ability to do that. Or if you have to drop something off, like if you have to gas up your boat or something like that, you can pull up to your dock, go down, gas up your boat, and then park over on Bay Point and then take your boat out. That would be the best. What I'll do here is I'll send out an email to Kevin Avery, which is the Commodore of the club, and have him forward that to everybody on their email list for the members of the yacht club. But our recommendation would be just to park in Bay Point once again. And the parking lot should be, there'll be times here over the next month and a half where they're pouring curb there. There'll be blacktopping. They'll be grading for the blacktop. They'll be putting a fence up on top of the wall. So there's a lot of things going on down there. And we're hoping that the schedule right now, with weather permitting and the river water going down, because the river water right now is hindering the work a little bit for the underground utilities, which affects the road paving and everything else. But if that river water goes down in the next week or so, hopefully they'll be done in there by mid-July. Ryan would be?
Yeah, that's if everything goes very well, I think.
Okay,
I'd
mid
say
to end of
August.
July. But we'd still like, in the meantime, either parking at Bay Point or asking the foreman down there if there's ability to park in the lot. Is that?
Yeah, I'd say, officially the park in Bay Point would definitely be the safest thing, but
Yes.
to really we'll make a concerted effort too to talk to all all of our workers down there. Anybody in a hard hat and a vest should be able to answer the question on any day, whether they can park there or not. That everybody should know what's going on enough to be able to answer that question. So if you communicate with us and work with us, we'll work with you as best we can.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yep,
Thanks,
that
Ron.
was, that was the question that needed to be
Yeah, no,
addressed.
that's perfect, so. Yep, go ahead, Marcy.
I have the same question for Ron about Memorial Day weekend. Do you know what it's going to be like down there that weekend?
Yeah, we'll be paving the road, concrete paving up to probably Eric's driveway there, right before Memorial Day, and it'll still be closed through Memorial Day weekend, I believe.
They would be able to access a lot over the weekend though, wouldn't they?
Yeah, the lot would be nice and cleaned up before the weekend, yeah.
Yeah, so they would be able to access that parking lot for the weekend.
But
That's a
the
good
road-
question, because there probably will be a lot of people wanting to get out.
Yeah, the road will still be closed as a through road.
Yes.
The parking lot would be pretty accessible. And don't look for any hard hats or vests on Memorial Day weekend.
They'll be up on Main Street working.
All right, awesome.
All right.
Well, seeing no others, so just want to thank those for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.